So boxing is my job. Obviously, I study the game. I study boxing to see what's up. And I'm telling you guys, from what I'm seeing, there is a difference in Ryan Garcia as he prepares for the Rolly fight as opposed to when he was preparing for the Devin Haney fight. And I got to revisit this topic. Listen, I love my job. I'm going to keep saying that. I love what I do. It is fun. There's new things happening daily. But I also like moments like this where your boy Ego gets to gloat and tell y'all how right I was and how wrong y'all were. Because the reason I enjoy it is because some of y'all won't shut the F up. So when I put out content, I'm always met with support. I got a great fan base. Shout out to Ego's Army. But there's also detractors, naysayers, haters, and people who constantly go against the messaging in my videos, go against the grain, and always got something to say. And last year, and I'm going to keep bringing this up because this was one of the times of many where your boy Ego got it right. And I told you the fight between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney was not looking promising. Ryan, he acted like he had lost his mind or something. He was acting super bizarre, saying peculiar things. His timing seemed off. His videos were weird. And his behavior was just off-putting. And you had Haney-act channels. They were saying, nah, this is helping to sell the fight. This is going to break records and sell out and stuff like that. First of all, it didn't break records. It didn't break Tank versus Rolly. The fight that did break the record set by Tank versus Rolly for a boxing event was Tank Davis himself when he fought Lamont Roach. So Tank Davis is fighting a guy like Lamont Roach. The public didn't really know who he was, and turning it into a big event, coming close to the biggest, most profitable event since the Barclays Open, just behind the Rolling Stones. So you guys spread lies, fans, media, Haney-act channels, right? Spread these lies that this was going to be a big, and Ryan's behavior would uplift the fight and make more people tune in. That wasn't the case. Oscar De La Hoya, when Devin Haney started lawsuits and suing and stuff like that, he came out and told you. He's like, Devin, you're pathetic. You're mad at me and Ryan because you can't sell. You don't sell tickets. It was Ryan, right? I do believe. He makes a strong case. I do believe. He was dissing Devin and doing clapback Thursdays, and he lets you know in them videos that don't be mad at us. We paid you everything you're owed. You just can't sell tickets. So you guys have been way off and I've been way right. And I told you that this was going to be a regrettable fight, and we're still talking about it. People still don't seem like they're over what happened to Devin Haney. Literally on Twitter. I have a Twitter account. The other day, Ryan's suspension officially ended, and I seen a gang of people, and they were posting Ryan knocking Devin Haney down, talking about the 1-year anniversary. Several posts that were getting a crazy amount of impressions. So the reach is there. People is consuming the content. But no, y'all said I didn't know what I was talking about. Fast forward to the future, here we are. And when I'm looking at Ryan Garcia, he doesn't look the same. He looks like he's in better shape. He looks more clear-headed. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Ryan in the training camp, he looked like an alcoholic. He didn't look like a professional athlete, let alone a boxer. He didn't look like he was being disciplined. He was doing videos in a hotel, and he was looking like The Hangover. Like clothes, like he have a button-up shirt, and it's like halfway on and unbuttoned. His hair was looking a mess. He had like five-hour growth of stubble, like a 5 o'clock shadow, and he was looking real disheveled. And I'm like, what's going on with Cuz? What's up with Ryan? You know what I mean? And you guys didn't want to hear it out. You say, oh, this is theatrics. Oh, Ryan Garcia, he tricked y'all. But then later he's doing interviews saying he was really in a sunken place, in a bad place, because he was going through a divorce. And now he moved, I guess, back to California, and the people that love him kind of got him right. And he said he's cleaned up his act. And now notice for the whole Rolly fight, he's acting like kind of quote unquote regular. Definitely not acting like he's conducting regular interviews. I remember the press conference for the Haney fight in LA was weird. He came in on horseback. He had some OnlyFans chicks throwing flower petals on the ground. He was like yelling. I just remember these moments. He act like he was drinking a beer or was drinking a beer at the weigh-in. He was on the stage making noises and barking. He was like, I'm strong, 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 doing all these weird noises and stuff like that. And you guys told me, nah, this is just to hype the fight. I don't know what was going on with Cut, but at the end of the day, it's not the same that we're getting for the Rolly fight. And he even said that. He said Rolly would be entertained and it would probably benefit Rolly if I was acting off the hook like I did for the Devin Haney fight. So Ryan, he played Devin because he did what he had to do and got under his skin, whether it was intentional somewhat or unintentional because of whatever he was going through in life. Either way, it worked out because the Haneys totally bought it. They were getting angry, and Bill Haney, being emotional, he had his son fight a dumb game plan and told him to stand in the center of the ring and bet your purse that I'll knock you out in the first round. Like, what are we talking about? When has Devin knocked anybody out of note? Not like some fight in Tijuana. When has he knocked somebody out in the first round? So Ryan, he definitely messed up Devin Haney's trajectory and his career. And the only way for him to get some resolve and get some retribution is to rematch him if they both win, because they have opponents in front of them, and try to get it back in blood. But you cannot tell me that Ryan Garcia looks in the same shape. He looked soft and doughy when he was in the Haney camp, right? His body looked like he had alcohol weight. Like alcohol, if you're drinking beer, got a lot of yeast. Alcohol has a lot of sugar, things like that. And he was a lot of carbs. It just looked like he had a lot of carbs. It looked like he was sweating through his pores. It kind of looked like the Lush, to be honest. And you guys said nothing was wrong, but I'm glad that it looks like he's cleaned up for the Rolly fight because, it's just a waste of your career otherwise. Now, the bad thing is this. The bad thing for Devin Haney is this. If Ryan inflicted that type of damage, and I've always said this, if he inflicted that type of damage on Devin Haney to the point where you could argue in some of those moments, round 7 or whatever, that the fight should have been stopped, right? And he did that. And I think it's pretty clear that there's a difference in his behavior in the Tank fight, in the Duarte fight, and now in the Rolly fight versus the Haney fight. The Haney fight was the only one where it seemed like he went over the deep end for whatever reason. I'm not even going to try to figure out what was going through his head and all that. But Ryan said he was on like 40%. De La Hoya said it, and Boxing Ego said it. And I think that has to be true, that wasn't the full 100% Ryan. I've seen like Roy Jones or somebody had a quote and it said, hey, Ryan had juice in his system and couldn't officially stop Devin Haney, so how's he going to beat him clean? But I'll probably, if you want me to make a separate video about that, just put Roy Jones Jr. And then if enough of you guys put that in the comment section, I'll respond to that. But to me, that comment makes no sense because, again, you could argue that the fight should have been stopped. And Ryan, again, as I've said throughout this video, I think he was compromised and running at 40% or drinking and not disciplined. So if he cleans up his act, he will be more formidable.